discussion?
What do you
on
need?
Third one over.
We'll open up the first item is a public hearing on tonight's agenda. Public hearing for amendment to Chapter 410 subdivision regulations. Does anyone want to address that issue?
Good evening, Mayor and Board. First, I would like to ask that the Board accept as part of the public record the following: municipal code by reference, copy of the public hearing notice, and my planning and zoning report. This is a proposed amendment to Chapter 410 subdivision regulations. Some of the key items of this proposed amendment is clarify the as-built requirements, require that a set of approved improvement plans, construction plans are part of the record plat procedure, and create a maintenance escrow to be in place during the building construction.
Any questions for Jack on the board? Is that all you have, Jack?
Yes, sir.
Is there anybody from the audience that would like to address that issue or have anything to say? If not, we'll close that public hearing. And at this time, I'll call to order the Board of Aldermen meeting for the City of Warrenton on March 19, 2013. First item on our agenda tonight is Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would stand, and Alderman Dreyer is going to lead us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. First item on the agenda, item 3, approval of minutes. Minutes from February 25, 2013 on countywide transportation funding discussion. Any corrections or additions? Not hearing from anyone, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Clark to approve the minutes from February 25, 2013 countywide transportation funding discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carried 6-0. Item 3B, open and executive minutes from March 5, 2013. Any corrections or additions?
Make a motion to approve the open and executive minutes from March 5th, 2013.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Dreyer to approve the open and executive minutes from March 5, 2013. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carried 6-0. Item 3C, regular board minutes from March 5, 2013.
Motion to approve regular board minutes from March 5th, 2013.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Tallow, seconded by Alderman Clark to approve the regular board minutes from March 5, 2013. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carried 6-0. Item 3D, work session minutes from March 5, 2013 on countywide transportation funding discussion. Any corrections or changes? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Tallow, seconded by Alderman Kendall to approve the work session minutes from March 5, 2013 on countywide transportation funding discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carried 6-0. Item 4, hearing from the public. We give citizens an opportunity to address the board. If you'd like to come forward and state your name, we allow 5 minutes for your discussion, and we ask that you keep your remarks kind and civil. So if there's anyone like to address the board, please do so at this time. Not hearing from anyone from the public, we're going to move on to the Board of Aldermen's comments, and we'll give them and extend the same courtesy to the board. If If anyone from the board would like to address the public. You guys are keep quiet. No comments? Even from you, John?
Not from me even.
Okay. Couple things from the mayor's department here. Want to send the city's congratulations to Councilor Gravel. He's not here tonight. His wife gave birth on March 15th at 10:53 to a 8-pound, 3-ounce baby girl named Cecilia Higgins Gravel, and we send our best wishes to Councilor Gravel. A couple things I have for the board. Just a reminder, we have our ethics meeting this coming Tuesday at 6 o'clock here in the chambers, and I think Melody told me probably 26 people have mentioned that they were going to be here. Once again, I'll extend an invitation to the candidates running for Alderman. They're welcome to attend that meeting. In fact, we encourage you to attend it. Want to thank the WDA for hosting and sponsoring the Meet the Candidates Night, especially Eloise Marshall, Jenna Todd, Loretta Parks, Marie Hollenbeck, who kind of took the lead role in that and organized it. I thought they did a good job. My thanks also to Warrenton TV, John Scott, for agreeing to be the moderator, and I thank him for his staff and time that they put in organizing it and making it available to the public. Also, thanks Chief Howdyshell for hanging around and overseeing things and making sure the building was secured before everybody left. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I've got item 7 on the agenda, approval to hire a full-time recreational secretary at $12 per hour. Who's addressing that issue? No one.
It just requires a motion.
A motion
to
for the
approve
board.
by the board.
Okay.
I do have a couple comments on this. As a member of the Personnel Committee, I've had the opportunity to discuss with both the Human Resources Department and with Ms. Thorne. Let me start by saying I believe that the Human Resources Department is doing their job as they're directed, but I'm concerned about the direction. The candidate that was proposed for hire, or has been proposed for hire, for an entry-level position, I'm concerned that we have gotten to a point where we are evaluating the analytical, for lack of a better term, qualities of our candidates, their experience, their education, but we don't take into account the personal side of it. One of the important qualities that I believe an applicant can bring is ties to the community. It concerns me when we have entry-level positions that we're filling with candidates from outside of the community. While I don't believe that you hire an inferior candidate simply because they're from the community, I find it hard to believe that we could not find a candidate with ties to the community, from the community, to an entry-level secretary position. I don't know in the 8 months I've been on the board, that a meeting has gone by that I haven't heard a mention of the need to attract business to the community so that we provide jobs for the citizens of the community. Yet when we have openings, there is no consideration to hiring members from the community. I understand that there will be times when the position requires skills such that no one within the community has that skill set. Ms. Phillips is a prime example. There were no local candidates that could fit that bill. However, I just find it hard, if not impossible, to believe that we cannot fill that position with somebody with community ties, and that is a tangible asset to that candidate. ties to the community, allows them to network within the community, allows them to be ambassadors for the city within the community, and it certainly leads to the ability to retain that employee who already has roots within the community. Based upon that, and my knowledge of the candidate not having ties to the community, I can't support the hiring of that candidate, and I would encourage the other aldermen to consider not approving that candidate.
Any other comments from anyone regarding?
So John, you're saying that, okay, the directive from the board, since I've been on it, has always been to pick the most qualified candidate for that position, whether it be a secretary or someone the head of a department. So you're saying that we should get away from that?
No, I'm not. I absolutely think that you should hire the most qualified candidate. However, I do not believe, well, I know that they are not taking into consideration the quality and that asset that comes from an applicant who has ties to the community. They give that zero weight, and I do not believe that that is proper, and I don't believe that it gives proper weight to the quality of the candidate. And I believe that we need to pass on that direction to our human resources. I believe human resources is doing exactly that. They're following that direction. I just don't agree with that direction. I don't know how we can, week in and week out, talk about the need for local jobs for our citizens and then not hire local, and give no weight to that. I don't believe that you hire somebody who cannot do the job, who is an inferior candidate. But again, I believe that you have to weigh in the value that that brings.
Okay, so they're an inferior candidate because they don't have the skill level, but yet because they're a resident, that supersedes it? So
No.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
No, I am saying that that is equally an asset to years of experience, to education. The ties to the community bring a value to that candidate, yet we are not giving that any weight. We are actually, I was told that we are not, we don't even pay attention to that because that's discriminatory, which is just not the case. So I just, again, how do we encourage companies to come here and hire our citizens, hire our users of this community when we don't? This is an entry-level position.
I'll make a motion, we approve to hire a full-time recreation secretary at $12 an hour.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Kendall, second by Alderman Tallow to approve to hire a full-time recreational secretary, $12 per hour. Roll call, please.
Alderman Dreyer?
Yes.
Alderman Flake?
Yes.
Alderman Cornell?
No.
Alderman Tallow?
Yes.
Alderman Kendall?
Yes.
Alderman Clark?
No.
Motion carried 4-2. On item 8, on the move, MoDOT Transportation meeting count on April 4th. And I might be able to explain that a little bit. MoDOT has a public listing post set up for April 4th in Hannibal, Missouri, at Hannibal LaGrange University, and they've asked us, or sent us an invitation and asked us to participate. I think Terry said she was available to go. Michelle, you're available?
I'm actually going to be a facilitator at
Oh,
the event.
that's right, I forgot about that. I'm available to go, and what we need is a count from the board, how many people on the board would like to attend that. We thought maybe we'd leave at 2:15 in the afternoon. It starts at 4, ends at 6, so we kind of need a count on that. If anybody thinks they might be interested, let us know, and we'll kind of maybe arrange transportation and go from there. You probably need to know tonight.
If I could know by the end of the week would be great, so that
Oh,
we
by
can
the end of the week?
RSVP.
Okay, all right, so you can put me down for sure.
Yes.
Pardon me?
Well, they won't be
Yeah, they won't.
until the following meeting, yeah.
But, you know, and Phil had mentioned about new candidates running for the board. I think it's open to the public. The only thing that, they said the seating was limited, and they want reservations, who's gonna be there. So, if you might be interested in going, you might call up there and, find out for sure, or actually talk to Michelle, and she can kind of steer you on that, if someone might be interested in that. Okay. I got item 9, representative of the park board to discuss Binkley Woods Playground. I see Mr. Brockfeld here. Are you the spokesman tonight?
Yes.
For the record, would you introduce yourself to the board?
Yeah, I'm John Brockfeld from the Park Board, and we're here to try to sell you on the only thing more expensive than tires is playground. But it is, as the Park Board had discussed, expanding the Binkley Woods Playground. We don't have much of a playground there now, just a swing set. And for like people that reserve the pavilions, when kids, they don't have really anything to do there, so we thought that we kind of wanted to look into expanding that. And we were looking for a little help from the board, of course. So what we're looking at, I don't know, okay, that got it up on the monitor there, that's what we're looking at. It's like some rocks that they make out of concrete and some logs that also made out of concrete that look like wood, and we thought that would kind of fit with the whole Binkley Woods theme there, kind of, and that's what we were looking to do. We were willing to put in $10,000 of our budget money, so we were just kind of wondering if the board would be interested in putting some money into their budget for it. We also had thought about maybe some corporate sponsors, so we thought about getting permission to maybe send some letters out for some corporate sponsorship for it too.
What's the price of this?
That particular thing what you're looking at there is $23,000.
And it's concrete?
That's not.
Is there
not
something
not
over it?
installed.
Is there
It's
like a
concrete
coating on
plastic.
it? Okay.
It's a composite is what
Right.
it's made of.
Hadn't there been discussion before to keep Binkley a kind of a walking, more serene?
And that's why we're going with more of the climbing, so it's not
Okay.
as much moving stuff, more of the
Stationary,
with
just
the-
looks like
with
rocks and
natural-
trees.
natural
Okay,
settings.
all right.
Mhm.
So this is a $23,000.
Right,
You
and they
put the
also,
purchase-
right, they also have other pieces, I don't know if you can pull that up.
And I think you all have the handouts at the.
They also have all kind of other things that you can incorporate with it. You can change it around however you want. You can buy different pieces and parts. That was just one
You
of
can
the,
see on your monitors there.
Yeah,
sure.
What
We-
we look looking at there.
that was just one of the things they had that went together as kind of a set that you can add and take away or do whatever you want to do there.
What about installation? Does that include that? 20?
Installation, no, would probably, I'm
We would do
assuming
that.
Brad
Do
would
that ourselves.
probably
We
do
would do
that.
that ourselves. I don't
Okay.
think this is that hard to do.
It's heavy enough for you to set in place?
Huh?
It's heavy enough you just set, make a
Bolt
flat
it,
hole.
bolt it down, it's poured
Pour
piers,
pour a
concrete.
pad
and
for it, and bolt
put
it
piers in
down.
it.
This has a rubber base that we've been using.
No, we're probably going to use mulch, just because of the leaves and the trees falling and all
Fit in
that.
With the natural.
Right,
set.
instead of using something else.
John, did you say where?
In the Binkley Woods, we were gonna, up by where the swing set is now.
Okay.
That's where we were just gonna add on. There's kind of an open spot there where we wouldn't, hopefully kill any trees or anything by
So,
digging and installing it.
if you got corporate sponsors, what would you do? Put a plaque on?
Yeah, that's what we were thinking, put a plaque like,
Sign up
Yeah.
with names,
Sure.
donated one.
Sure.
They've done it a lot for different ones.
right.
One of the biggest complaints that I get is the lack of playground equipment, because it's one of the
Right.
most desirable parks. It's a beautiful park, and people are like, we go there and there's nothing for our kids to do.
Right.
and
We kind of been
so,
hearing that for quite a
yeah.
while too, so that's why we thought we would kind of look in that direction.
I think that's cool that it can kind of blend in.
Fit
and-
in,
Yeah,
right.
it's not the
Doesn't
big
look
blue
sad,
monster.
standing
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Right.
That's kind of what we were going for, so.
Right. So anyway, I know your all's budget's coming up, so we just thought we'd present that to see if you put it into consideration.
I think that's something we would want to, talk with
Right,
the
I
finance
understand.
people and see if there's money available, and we'll get back to you on that. I don't think, does anyone have an objection to getting corporate sponsors to help? I certainly wouldn't object to that.
Right.
if you want to go that direction and get some help from it. And then we'll visit in our budget hearing, see if we got some extra money for it. So
Yep, that's all we were looking for.
You all have the 10,000 that you would put out.
Right, we kind of have that in our budget set
Okay.
aside.
Okay.
But, for 10,000, you don't get much, so we just thought that, we would try to get you all to put some money in it,
Still
and then we
just
could at
for
least
sure.
have something that would be halfway
Sure.
decent.
And if you all go ahead and pursue that corporate thing, maybe you could give us a exact number then.
Sure.
If you're, what you'd be short or something.
The other good thing about this is you can expand it.
Right.
So in other words, like say next year, we want to put another 5 or 10,000 in it, we
Yeah.
can just expand it, and it, won't even be able to tell you ever added it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have so many other pieces that go with it.
That part's the best kept secret in Warrenton.
I think it
hate
is.
to promote that too much.
Right, I understand.
It's kind of a secret place for, especially people that like to walk and, the trails and so forth, peaceful area, so. But we'll certainly see what we can do.
So that was all I really had, so if
Okay.
you don't have any more questions?
Any questions for John?
Thank you,
All
John.
right.
Well, thank you.
Good to see
Appreciate
you.
it.
John?
Uh-huh.
I'm on the agenda, item 10, Terry Thorne, Director of Operations, Finance Officer, and she's got a whole list of things.
The first item I have for you is the proposed internet, email, computer, and social media usage policy. We had discussed a couple meetings ago needing to update our policies related to internet and city computer usage and social media because we are preparing both for starting up the work with a Facebook and Twitter account, as well as Greg is madly working on getting the iPads ready to roll those out. So the need was there to update policies related to that. And the proposed policy that you have here is actually something that we borrowed from O'Fallon, Missouri, was written by one of the MML representatives, and I had our city attorney review it, and believably or not, he made no changes. I don't know that that's ever occurred, so it was a first for me. But this policy would replace the existing internet policy, and I think you also have a copy of that dated 11/4/08, and it just is more specific and more updated than what was in place at that time in 2008. So my request is to have approval for this updated internet, email, computer, and social media usage policy.
Any comments on the policy? Just my impression is very thorough. And I've worked for companies that had similar such policies, so it's unfortunate, it's necessary to have those in place, otherwise things can get out of hand.
Well, and Melody actually was kind enough to get from her city clerk counterparts several policies. All of them appear to be pretty much the same basic language, so somewhere this was developed and has been passed along through many cities with similar policies.
One of the areas in here I highlighted, and I can't find it, on page 6, and it talks about using the different websites and stuff, but I think item 6 there says that the person should clearly state that any mention of the city, its service employees, or officials are your personal views and are not representative of the views of the city. And I think that's an important comment that we don't get on there for social aspects and pretend to be representing the city. So I thought that was a key element there. Any other comments or concerns? Then we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Dreyer to approve the internet, computer, and social media policy update. Roll call on it, please.
Alderman Flake,
Yes.
Alderman Cornell,
Yes.
Alderman Tallow,
Yes.
Alderman Kendall,
Yes.
Alderman Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
And then in addition to that, our city attorney indicated that we needed a very specific policy related to city social media sites. And really what this does is identifies the responsibility for our Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, how those are going to be established, and who has the ability to access and comment on those. So it basically says that we will establish 2 Facebook pages, one for general government operations, one for the Recreation Department, which actually is already in use and has been for a while now, that I will initially oversee the general government page until we're able to determine how much time that's going to take, what kind of responses we're getting, and then we'll turn that over at some point in the future. Also indicates that the Recreation Director will be responsible for the Recreation Facebook page with the same premise until such time as she feels comfortable that we have a handle on its usage, what kind of messages we're going to put out there, and then at some point in the future to turn that over to the Recreation Secretary in her department. So this really establishes how specifically we will deal with our city-titled pages, and also would require your approval.
Any concerns or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made by Alderman Flake, seconded by Alderman Tallow to approve the city social media site policy. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cornell,
Yes.
Alderman Tallow,
Yes.
Alderman Kendall,
Yes.
Alderman Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer,
Yes.
and Alderman Flake.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
My next item for you is a change to the park regulations. When we started looking at the Recreation Department scheduling the multitude of tournaments that Dottie has been able to attract to the city, she found that there was an issue with the Adult League softball that generally plays on Sunday night at the athletic complex. And in scheduling these tournaments, many of them want to play both Saturday and Sunday, and that creates a conflict with the Sunday night Adult League. So her desire is to move the Adult League to perhaps Corey Park, but the Adult League individuals would like to be able to bring their alcoholic beverages to that event as they are able to do at the athletic complex. So when Dottie brought the problem to me, I spoke with Chris Gravel, and his suggestion was that we change the park regulation so that in item number 8, alcoholic beverages would not be allowed unless they're authorized by a special permit approved by the Board of Aldermen. This would allow special type situations to occur that could be approved, and really designed initially, the thought process was to gain your approval for Sunday night adult leagues to be able to occur at Corey Park. So the request is to change the ordinance so that this language is changed to authorize a special permit. Previously, it said by approval of the grounds and maintenance director, but we weren't really comfortable putting Brad on the spot and making that approval. Felt like it really needed to come to your level. So that is the request, to approve this change to the code to allow a special permit authorizing alcohol in the park.
And I spoke with you earlier, and my comments to Ms. Thorne earlier were, is it possible to, rather than it be approved by the Board of Aldermen, which requires advance notice to be, 2 weeks out for a board meeting, is it possible for that to be approved much like the personnel committee, a committee be able to approve that rather than a full board? And I don't know what the board's feeling or what Ms. Thorne's feeling is on that.
Are you meaning because of the time frame?
Right,
Yeah.
that somebody can call and, hey, I want to have a function and it's on Saturday, we want to play. There's no way to do that on short notice, and I
Right.
wondered if a committee wouldn't be able to handle that request.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think what Dottie's saying is, this is just for the adult league? Or are you wanting to let any adult organization use the ballpark and have alcohol?
My issue is specifically for the adult leagues. Beyond that, I'm not sure, I hadn't really.
Right, it was simply adult league that was Dottie's request to accommodate.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
But if you,
But this policy is going to open it up to,
Yeah, that's what I see.
yeah, I don't know how you can make an exception for the adult league and not
Follow that
consider
same-
allowing other groups to be able to do that.
But I guess the question is, do we want them, coming to the board meetings and applying 2 or 3 weeks out? Or I think Alderman Cornell's asking, is there a way to expedite that type of thing? I don't know. What's the board think on that? I don't have an opinion.
Did the chief have something to say on that?
I think this is probably a Gravel question, honestly.
yeah.
I mean,
Are you needing an answer right away, Terry?
We need it fairly quickly.
For the league, especially for the league right now is what you're at.
Right, Dottie? We
So
need an
that she
answer.
knows where to put the league.
Right. Is the question, can someone other than the Board of Aldermen approve it?
No, I think what he's saying is, can you call, like, there's a committee of board members, whether it be 3, 4, like with the
Instead of-
personnel, you just make a call and say, listen, we have a request for this Saturday. Would it be okay to let them do it? Is that right, John, or am I?
Yeah,
that's-
Yeah, like
that's
instead
exactly-
of waiting for 2 weeks for our
Right.
meeting to
For a
come
board
around
meeting,
again.
Right.
This is not 400.
But you were talking board members, though.
It could be board member. I don't care if it's staff. I don't know if that's, I hadn't given a thought to that, but I don't.
That's what I thought you meant, but.
Yeah.
If the question is, can the board authorize some other group to approve this, the answer is yes. Whoever you put here. So if it's a special permit approved by the Recreation Committee of the Board of Aldermen or the Park Committee of the Board of Aldermen, you all can choose how you want to do that. I think Chris's thought in saying Board of Aldermen was, you all approve parade permits, you approve fireworks permits, you approve closing of street permits. You've never delegated that authority to any committee. So thus his recommendation to treat this like other permits that are issued by the city. But the answer to the question is, if you all want to delegate that to some committee of the board, you certainly have the authority to do it. It just needs to be indicated here.
What problems would it be to approve this as written now, get Counselor Graville's input on whether or not that, if the board has any interest in that, assigning that to a committee and then changing it at a later date to a committee?
It simply means just another approval of an ordinance change.
Okay.
That's all it would require.
Well, I personally think that it should be a committee of the board, whether it's the full board, 3 members,
It should be a board decision whether, yeah.
Yeah.
since it's a permit.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to put that burden on some of the staff, because if
That's
something-
why you have this in front of you tonight.
That's right.
Fair enough.
Something goes wrong, you know whose shoulders it falls on, so.
Right.
Fair
Well, I
enough.
agree with Alderman Cornell, if we can go ahead and okay that tonight, and then if we have to change it, it's not that big a deal for you guys.
That would be great.
Okay,
Okay.
everybody's in agreement? We need a motion on that.
So moved.
Oh,
You actually
Second.
have a bill later on, Mayor.
Oh,
pardon me?
You have a bill later
Oh,
on.
okay.
Later on to change.
We'll carry that, get to that on when we do the bill.
Okay,
Okay.
and then the last thing under operational updates I have for you tonight is just a note in case you haven't recently turned on your public access channel. The volume issue that has been there for a very long time has been resolved, as I understand it. So Greg finally, after working on it for a very long period of time, figured out how to turn up the sound. So you no longer have to turn your TV at home up to
That's good.
100 to be able to hear the audio on the public access channel. So wanted the public to know that.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's
All
it?
I have this evening. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg, that is appreciated.
No problem.
I'm on item 11, Chief of Police Greg Hottishell.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. The only thing I have this evening is the monthly report from February. Not really a whole lot to report. Numbers are basically about right for the month. Cleared a couple of cases that have been hanging out in the Detective Bureau. One of them was a child abuse case that was, took a considerable amount of investigation time to get cleaned up and get records in and send over to the prosecuting attorney's office. And I believe I saw that it actually did get charged by the PA's office in the last couple of days. So anyway, not a whole lot going on. We are seeing some ride-alongs from time to time, so the word is out.
Yeah, I noticed January and February of this year, quite a few more calls.
And I think the reason for that, as I've indicated, is that we're doing the school walkthroughs. Both of the day shifts, and that's why those numbers on the day shifts are higher, is every time they walk through a school, we're recording that so that we have some record of that.
Gotcha.
So that's why those numbers are a little bit higher.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Good.
Any questions for the chief? Anything else?
No, sir.
You're short and easy tonight. I'm on item 12, Planning Zoning Director Jack Camp.
Once again, this is the proposed amendment to Chapter 410 subdivision regulations. The goal is to clarify the as-built requirements, require a set of improvement construction plans are part of the record plat procedure, and create a maintenance escrow be in place during building construction of the plat. We've got the existing Chapter 410 subdivision regulations with proposed changes highlighted in red. I have underlined on page 15 and 16 the maintenance escrow areas that was the main topic of discussion at the P&Z meeting, and this motion was approved by P&Z 7-1 with 2 absent at the February 7th P&Z meeting.
Any questions for Jack? Or questions or concerns? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Flake to approve the amendment to Chapter 410 subdivision regulations. Roll call, please.
Alderman Tallow?
Yes.
Alderman Kendall?
Yes.
Alderman Clark?
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer?
Yes.
Alderman Flake?
Yes.
Alderman Cornell?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Anything else, Jack?
That's it, thank you.
Thank you. 13, Guy Gevers, Public Works Director.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. In front of you have the monthly report, the snow removal, and the monthly footage flushing. And then on the work orders and that we had, that the bar screen and that back in operation. that Darren and Jeff and Jeremy repaired that and got that operating. We estimated about $2,000 worth of repairs, probably about a week and a half of getting it straightened out. And at this time, it's still operating. Any questions?
I sometimes need to sit down with you and have you explain to me what all these numbers mean.
Absolutely.
Because some of these things I have no clue what this biochemical oxygen demand is.
That's BOD, absolutely. I mean, just a tour at the plant, we can go through
We'll do
everything
that.
on this list.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not forgotten that, so.
Okay, and that's open, welcome to all of you.
I'm just waiting for warmer weather.
Yeah.
Been through it, it's a heck of an operation.
Any questions for Guy on his Public Works report?
What is the status on well 8?
Well 8 is back on, pumps in. We pulled a sample off of it today at about 1 o'clock, and we'll get the results from it tomorrow around 1 o'clock. And if that goes
If those
through,
samples are good, then we can turn it,
fire up.
fire it back up, so.
But Flynn was in 2 days. He had it done by noon. Came in Monday morning.
Okay.
Well, you can't argue with that.
I'm sorry.
Pretty good, that's good,
Oh,
getting in and out
absolutely.
there quick on something that
Absolutely.
extensive.
They pulled it in a day and then got a bid, received a bid on it and
They,
ordered the parts and moved on.
we,
Been in
Oh,
approved.
the bid, and you do have the bid tabs in front of you.
yes. So you need an approval on the work they've done?
But
Is that
I
right?
don't think it needs an approval, but it needs to be acknowledged in the minutes
Okay.
that Flynn was the low bidder, and it was done under the emergency provision since the well was down, in the amount of $43,931.
Lowest of 3 bids.
Lowest of
Correct.
three bids, yes. Did you get all that, Melody?
Yes, I did.
Good. We, Flint has been very, the last couple, very good for us, the last couple issues we've had. They've reacted quickly and efficiently, and they seem to be very knowledgeable of the work they do, so I don't have any complaints with them at all.
They're good to work with, and they explain exactly what they're doing,
Yeah,
and then show us what was wrong, and explain to me what was wrong.
that's great.
Very accommodating.
Yep. Appreciate that.
Again, they're not that far away either. The
Right.
response time is quick.
That makes a difference.
We know where to find, we know where to find.
Know where
it
to
if
find it.
something goes bad.
That's true.
Like the other thing with the bar screen, but that's up and running. And if it stays running, we'll save
You
quite
gotta
a
be
bit of money.
optimistic about that.
Yeah.
You didn't say if, did you?
They did. They said if.
It's when it stays running.
There you go. Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Okay, any questions for Guy from the board? Like,
No, sir.
thank you, Guy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, and we're ready for Maintenance and Grounds Director Brad Boozy-Cruz.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Tonight you have the monthly report for February. We pushed a lot of snow along with the guys' crew. Had some brush cleaning and tree removal. Well, we did some of that. And just our normal maintenance on facilities and vehicles. If anybody else has any?
How's our tree situation doing? Have we done anything more with that, or are we still waiting for
The what now?
trees? Are we gonna take some trees down?
Trees are all done.
They're all done
They're
now?
all done.
Okay,
Everything's
and
done.
Cleaned up.
thank you.
Good.
I see a lot of snow removal hours there.
Yes, we cleaned a lot of parking lots and helped out Guy in some spots there. We hauled off a lot of snow and kind of helped his crew out, so We
That's great.
got in the backhoe with the rest of them and helped them out, so.
We got all the mailboxes back up and.
That wasn't our crew.
Shouldn't have left them alone. That's not good public information. All right.
Nobody has any other questions on that? We'll move on to the pool lift bid tabs. The low bid on the pool lift was Leisure Aquatic Products for a total of $3,324.
And the lift is a requirement to make
This is a requirement to meet the new ADA standards,
Okay,
yes.
make it handicap
Yes.
usable and accessible.
Mhm.
Any questions about the bid or the lift? I need a motion on that.
I'll go with the recommendation of the Grounds and Maintenance Director to accept the bid from the lowest bidder of Leisure Aquatic Products of $3,324 for a pool lift, and they were the lowest of 7 bidders.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Tallow, seconded by Alderman Flake to accept the low bid on the pool lift from Leisure Aquatic Products in the amount of $3,324. Roll call, please.
Alderman Kendall?
Yes.
Alderman Clark?
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer?
Yes.
Alderman Flake?
Yes.
Alderman Cornell?
Yes.
Alderman Tello?
Yes, and I'd like to make one more statement. We budgeted 4,000, so we came in quite a bit below
Over
that.
there, did good.
Thanks, Brad.
Motion carried 6-0. Thanks, Brad. Anything else?
That's all I have for you tonight, thank you.
Recreation Director Dottie Phillips.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. The first thing that I have here is the proposed concessions budget. Wanted to give you a little bit of history and information about why we're doing this. In the past, we've had a limited selection of vendors who could actually be a third-party provider to us for concession services. Because of that, we've chosen to propose doing it in-house, utilizing the concession stand that is at the complex, and also vending hawkers, which would be people who are moving around sporadically throughout the complex. The purpose of doing that is because we would like to move the mobile concessions trailer up to the pool to provide concessions at the pool, which would then meet a need and a request by the public. At both locations, we would always have 2 employees working, a minimum of 2 employees working. There would be cases at tournaments, if we have, all 4 fields going at one time, lots of people, we could need 3 people. But having at least 2 employees would assure accountability and reduce any potential for losses. We would need approximately 12 employees to fill the 225 hours per week at maximum usage, meaning pool is open all 7 days. We have leagues every night, plus we have a tournament that weekend. The employees would be paid $7.45 per hour. The pool season opens Memorial Day, May 25th, and would run through Labor Day. Pool hours are from noon to 8, Monday through Thursday, and then noon to 9, Friday through Sunday. And then concessions at the complex would be open anytime there were league games. We would not be open for any practices or private activities. It would be for league games and tournament games only. So those hours would vary, but typically league games we'd be looking at 6 p.m. to 10:30, depending on what all we have scheduled through the week, and then weekends. Saturdays tournaments, we're probably looking 9 a.m. to 10:30, and Sundays 9 to 8:30, something like that. So the hours will vary a little bit, but that's just kind of a general expectation. We have included here in your packet, or I think it was actually laying up there, the menus that we're proposing. They're pretty basic, with the staple items being hot dogs, nachos, and pretzels. And then also adding fountain drinks. The reason we would like to do fountain drinks is because, first of all, it is maximizing what the customer is getting for their dollar, but also is maximizing our revenue, so that we can keep prices of some of the other menu items pretty low. So the proposed budget amendment that you have here reflects a net impact of 0 on the general fund, with the revenue being equal to the expenses. It also reflects the purchase of 3 pieces of concessions equipment from the capital sales tax fund, totaling $2,500. But also from that fund, we would be removing $4,300 in catcher's gear. That was budgeted, but I have found that we have plenty of catcher's gear on hand, plus we had a donation from the Elks, so we will not be needing to purchase that. So based on those things, I'm requesting a budget revision. Since there isn't currently anything in for concessions operations. This budget reflects actually from opening through the end of this budget year. And then for next year, we would also include our concessions operations.
What do you anticipate on the concession? Is this a break-even type thing by the time you hire your workers and stuff, or are you anticipating it would actually generate a profit? What do you think?
I'm anticipating for this first year for it to be break-even.
Break-even?
I think there's the potential to do better than that, but first year, I would say we'll break even.
Okay.
How did we do last year?
Well, we had it
Released it.
contracted
Released it
out.
out.
Yeah. And I don't know if they made any money or not. Do you know, Terry?
My understanding from the lady who was doing it is that no, they did not. In fact, they lost money,
Lost money,
on
yeah.
the proposition.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that in the prior years, when we were doing it in-house, we would have been extremely happy to break even. So,
I would have to think having concessions at the pool would be an asset.
Absolutely.
I mean, the years I spent going to the pool, I think that would
Yeah.
have been a huge asset.
Is the plan to remove the vending machines then from the pool area?
Yes.
Then will the trailer be in the parking lot at the pool? Is it going to take up parking spaces, or?
No, it is not going to take up parking spaces. Brad has actually located a convenient place next to the building. It'll be on the parking lot side.
Awesome.
But,
Over there in your driveway, Brad?
Yeah, yeah. Give my wife something to do, you know. Actually, what we're planning on doing is putting it right in front of the building. It's good and level, and we can back it in there, have the sidewalk as where the counter would be, and I think it'll work out good for us. over
I
there.
only ask because I know that parking's an issue.
Yeah, and now that was one of my things, we really didn't know where, and it's close to the building to get power to it. Won't be that big of a problem, so it should work out. A
Well,
little manipulation, I
hope it
think we can
works
get
out
it in there.
well. I think it will.
Need a motion back up.
you have an ordinance later on for the budget amendment.
Pardon me?
You have an ordinance
Oh, okay.
later on, an ordinance for the budget amendment.
Okay. So do you need approval on each one of these items? Or are we going to pick all that up on the ordinance?
Item A for the concessions budget is the only one you have the amendment, the ordinance for later
Okay.
on in the evening.
All right, so do we need any action on item B, C, D, and
Yes,
E, and F?
yes.
Okay.
Item B, the beverages for the concession stand. Beverages were originally included in the request for concessions bids that went out, but no one bid anything on them. So I contacted Coke and Pepsi and requested proposals from them. I've compared the two, and Coke is willing to work with us. They're very eager to have our business and the business of others in the community. So he was very accommodating, willing to provide us with fountain dispensers and coolers and different things that would be beneficial to us. So my recommendation is to use Coca-Cola for the remainder of 2013.
You want to do these one at a time? We'll just, I need a motion on item B.
Make a motion to approve the best bid of Coca-Cola for the beverage vendor.
We have a second on that?
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cornell, seconded by Alderman Tallow to approve the best beverage bid going with Coca-Cola. Roll call, please.
Alderman Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer,
Yes.
Alderman Flake,
Yes.
Alderman Cornell,
Yes.
Alderman Tallow,
Yes.
Alderman Kendall.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Concession bid?
Yes, the next item is the concessions, beds, and coal wholesale was the only bidder, so it is our recommendation to accept the bid from coal. We have also done some comparisons on the possibility of going out and purchasing these ourselves, but coal will deliver free as long as our order is over $300. We can get multiple deliveries in a week, which is very good for us considering that we do have a lack of storage, so that's going to be very beneficial to us. And they also are going to provide us some supporting equipment and display racks and things like that.
And they were the only bidder?
They were the only bidder. It was actually posted in the record, the city website, lobby bulletin board, and faxed an email to a vendor listing, which had probably at least 6 different vendors on it.
Okay.
Have you ever dealt with this company before, Don?
I have dealt with coal. It's probably been at least 10 years ago. I don't recall.
They're an established company.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Need a motion on concession bid.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Tallow, seconded by Alderman Dreyer to approve the concession bid from coal wholesale. Roll call, please.
Alderman Dreyer,
Yes.
Alderman Flake,
Yes.
Alderman Cornell,
Yes.
Alderman Tallow,
Yes.
Alderman Kendall,
Yes.
Alderman Clark.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
The next item D that I have are pool birthday parties. And we touched briefly on this last time when we adjusted the way we were doing the private pool parties. One question that came up last time was how many parties we had in previous years. 2012, we had 14 of them, 5 of which were canceled, some due to the closure of the pool. And then in 2011, there were 11 parties. So that was the historical data that I could find. What you have in front of you now, though, is a proposal to actually allow birthday parties or other small parties while the pool is open. So these would not be private parties, it would just be basically a party rental rate, or I'm sorry, a party package rate instead of a rental rate, where they could continue to have a birthday party if they didn't want to go to the expense of renting the entire pool. It would cost $100 for a Warrenton resident and $125 for a non-resident. They could have up to 8 people at their party at one time. Anybody over that would be $10. They would get hot dogs, chips, and soda for those 8 people, plus their daily admission. This is a pretty common program that other swimming pool and aquatic facilities are offering in the area.
So they have a particular area that they're going to reserve up to 2 hours?
Yeah, we would basically use a pop-up tent and put a picnic table or 2 underneath it, so they would kind of have a private area where they could have their snacks and open presents if they wanted to.
And then they'll be attended by somebody to help them throughout that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's great.
We need a approval on the pool birthday party policy.
Make a motion to approve the pool birthday party, the policy package program.
Motion by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Callow to approve the pool birthday party package policy. Roll call, please.
Alderman Flake,
Yes.
Alderman Cornell,
Yes.
Alderman Tallow,
Yes.
Alderman Kendall,
Yes.
Alderman Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item E, portable toilet bid.
Once again, we only received one bidder for this.
One?
Yes, and it also was posted in the same way that I mentioned earlier, through the newspaper, the website, bulletin board, and fax and email to a vending list. So it is our recommendation that we use B&J Septic Pumping.
Make a motion to accept the sole bid for portable toilet units to B&J Septic Pumping in the amount of $1,228.25.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Cornell, seconded by Alderman Flake to accept the only bid from BJ Septic Pumping in the amount of $1,228.25. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cornell,
Yes.
Alderman Tallow,
Yes.
Alderman Kendall,
Yes.
Alderman Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer,
Yes.
Alderman Flake.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item F.
Item F is approval to hire the list of seasonal employees that you have. You have a list of 3 in front of you, I believe. Each of those people are just, basically, we're going to have more later, but this is just to kind of get started because we have some things coming up pretty quick. Do you all have the list? Okay. The first one, Justin Ebersol, would be a recreation aide who we would be using to oversee some of the activities out at the complex. And then the other 2, the seasonal workers, Catherine Baker and Cody Jones, would both be seasonal assistants, both in the concession stands, activities and events, and also umpiring. And I'd like to add that all 3 of these individuals are residents of Warrenton.
Good.
I got a question. What makes an umpire a level A umpire? Is it just a year's experience, 2 years?
Yes, it would be years of experience, and they would have to be certified or sanctioned through one of the, either through USSSA, ASA. There's a whole slew of them. They
Okay.
have to have some sort of a certification.
Great, that's all. Thank you.
Any other questions for Dottie? Need a motion to approve the hire list for the seasonal employees.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Cornell to approve the Recreation Department's hire list of seasonal employees. Roll call, please.
Alderman Tallow,
Yes.
Alderman Kendall,
Yes.
Alderman Clark,
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer,
Yes.
Alderman Flake,
Yes.
Alderman Cornell.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. What else, Dottie?
That's it.
That's
Thank
it?
you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Did a lot of work?
That concession thing looks to me like it's going to be a lot of work managing, supervising all those people. I don't know how you run herd on that many people, but maybe you're used to that. I don't know. I'd have trouble.
That's why we hired her.
That's right. That's why we're paying her the big dollars, right? Thank you, Dottie.
Thank you.
Michelle Slinther, Economic Development Director.
Good evening. The first thing I would have for you tonight is to request approval to apply for the Missouri Arts Council grant. Request applying for $1,250. This would be for concerts in the park.
All my stuff somewhere.
We need a motion to approve that,
Yes.
and I'll accept that at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cornell, seconded by Alderman Clark to approve, or for approval to apply for Missouri Arts Council grant. What was the amount
The
of it?
maximum amount is $1,250.
$1,250. Roll call, please.
Alderman Kendall.
Yes.
Alderman Clark.
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer.
Yes.
Alderman Flake.
Yes.
Alderman Cornell.
Yes.
Alderman Tallow.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
The
Item
second
16.
thing I have for you this evening is an update on the trim grant. Alderman Tallow had asked about the trees that needed to be removed. That was part of our trim grant we had received funding from. We received this grant from the Missouri Department of Conservation, and it allowed us to complete our tree inventory at Binkley Woods Park and at Quarry Park. We've already have it completed at the cemetery. And in Phase 2, they gave an appraisal of $1,092,033.70 for the trees that they inventoried in this phase. They inventoried 744 trees. There was 28 species and 19 genera. And with that, we have a combined total from Phase 1 and Phase 2 of our inventory of $2,208,601. And they're estimating that these trees provide the community over $111,000 in benefits. And those benefits come from being aesthetic and saving on stormwater mitigation, energy, CO2, air quality benefits. So,
Interesting. We just got to keep those beetles out of them.
yes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
And the last thing I have for you this evening is a letter for the mayor to sign for MoDOT with our cost share application.
It's a great letter, by the way.
Great letter.
Great.
One of the things in the letter, it says we only have one ambulance station.
The other ambulance station, I believe, is actually in the county,
It
the one
is.
on South 47, so it reads that there's one in the city limits of Warrenton. So we actually only have one in the city limits of Warrenton.
Okay. And let me ask you, the reasoning behind the letter is?
MoDOT wanted an additional letter from us with the cost share, kind of restating the purposes of the interchange.
All right, because right now, we're still waiting on approval from the circuit court, whether they're going to accept our transportation district or not,
Correct.
and we haven't heard back on that.
As far as I'm aware, we have not.
So this is just a step in the process?
Yes.
Okay. You've answered my question.
Make a motion that give the authorization for the mayor to sign the letter.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Tallow, seconded by Alderman Dreyer, to authorize the mayor to sign a letter for the MoDOT cost share application for the interchange. Roll call, please.
Alderman Clark.
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer.
Yes.
Alderman Flake.
Yes.
Alderman Cornell.
Yes.
Alderman Tallow.
Yes.
Alderman Kendall.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
And that is all I have for you this evening.
That's it? Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
I'm on item 17. We have 3 bills to convert to ordinances, and the first bill is number 09-13.
Call for the first reading of bill number 09-13.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Tallow for the first reading of bill 09-13.
An ordinance amending section 600.210 regarding Sunday sales for alcoholic beverages.
Call for the second and final reading and passage of bill number 09-13.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Flake, seconded by Alderman Dreyer for second reading, final reading, and passage of bill number 09-13.
An ordinance amending section 600.210 regarding Sunday sales for alcoholic beverages.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Dreyer.
Yes.
Alderman Flake.
Yes.
Alderman Cornell.
Yes.
Alderman Tallow.
Yes.
Alderman Kendall.
Yes.
Alderman Clark.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Bill number 10-13.
Call for the first reading of bill number 10-13.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Kendall, seconded by Alderman Tallow for first reading of bill number 10-13.
An ordinance amending section 230.010 of the municipal code of the city of Warrenton, Missouri regarding alcoholic beverages in parks.
Call for the second and final reading and passage of bill number 10-13.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Flakes, seconded by Alderman Dreyer, for a second reading, final reading, and passage of bill number 10-13.
An ordinance amending section 230.010 of the municipal code of the city of Warrenton, Missouri regarding alcoholic beverages in parks.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Flake.
Yes.
Alderman Cornell.
Yes.
Alderman Tallow.
Yes.
Alderman Kendall.
Yes.
Alderman Clark.
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. 17C, bill number 11-13.
Call for the first reading of bill number 11-13.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Tallow, seconded by Alderman Dreyer for first reading of bill number 11-13.
An ordinance amending the budget of the city of Warrenton, Missouri for fiscal year 2012-2013.
Call for the second and final reading and passage of bill number 11-13.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Flake, seconded by Alderman Kendall for second reading, passage, and second final reading and passage of bill 11-13.
An ordinance amending the budget of the city of Warrenton, Missouri for fiscal year 2012-2013.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Cornell.
Yes.
Alderman Tallow.
Yes.
Alderman Kendall.
Yes.
Alderman Clark.
Yes.
Alderman Dreyer.
Yes.
Alderman Flake.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll entertain that. Second.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Tallow, second by Alderman Dreyer to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. We're adjourned.